Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye, bye, bye. In a menudo style and direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding! Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel. It's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and I'm very much appreciative. So gracias. Couldn't do without you, right? So I don't know if you guys tapped in, but I seen a video that was dropped, by GT Digital that had Baldacci, a Southsider from Florencia, on a track with J Diggs, right? Now, I'm starting to notice a lot of Southsiders interact a lot more with the blacks in the music industry, in every industry, right? And that right there is a smart move. They're making their next move their best move, right? Because at the same time, when you have people like Baldacci interacting with people like J Diggs, there's a respect factor there. Okay, there's a respect factor there. But let's not sugarcoat nothing. Let's not add no preservatives. Let's not call it what it is and what it's been, right? There's been a gold print that's been put out there. Not a blueprint nor a red print, but a gold print by none other than Julio Goto Sanchez. Goto's has been doing the same shit that now the Southerners are really starting to implement and do in their program for several years, decades in fact, right? When 17 Reasons came out, Black and Brown hit the scene. Norteños in Northern California were on fire. That was the best and biggest compilation that Northerners had ever seen. And it was a Black and Brown movement. And believe me, Black and Brown was everywhere, was on the tip of everyone's tongues. And this was, again, man, something that was started by not only JT, the bigger figure, but also Goto's. I think Goto's was very instrumental in keeping the movement going and giving it as much breadth as he did. But it really sparked a movement, especially in the Bay Area and the Central Valley, right? And the whole get down was how Black and Brown can come together, not necessarily in the streets. They were doing that anyways, but more so in the booth, making music, making tracks together, communicating, hustling, coming up, getting paper, getting money together. It's always better to get money together than get it by yourself, right? Because when you're getting it by yourself, people become envious. There's jealousy, all the different bullshit that could happen, all the shenanigans, the zuzus and the wham-whams that come with it will come knocking at your door. But when you're getting it together as one gente, as one people, there's no division or no divisiveness and nothing to make one person stand out more than the other. What's a lovely and a beautiful thing? Two cultures coming together in perfect peace and harmony to make money. And that's what it's all about. Well, I've been noticing lately the Southsiders are picking up on that. And they're starting to do it more so than the Norteños ever did. When the Norteños first started doing it, it was local. You had people like Messi Marv interacting with Gotos. People like Big Tone interacting with, Africanos from the Bay Area. You always have AWACS. He always does a lot of collaborations with people in the Antioch area. Big Tone, Megan, all these individuals that are out there rapping or singing. And it's a beautiful thing. The Jacka, man, Be Legit, Too Short, E40, Mac Dre, all these Northern California Bay Area rappers, and even X-Rated and Brother Lynch's and these guys always interacted with the Norteño movement, always made music together. You never necessarily seen any Northern California rappers doing too much or too little with Southerners, Southsiders. But now the game has changed. Now people are taking the page in the book that basically Goto's established and taking his movement to Southern California. Now, a few months back, Goto's was all over Southern California, and there was a lot of people hating on that. It seems like he had to step back and kind of shut that down for a little bit, just based upon the hatred and the envious and the mean mugs and shoulder shrugs he was getting from the gente down there, right? When he went with peace and love and trying to help everyone come up and put the gold print out for them, you follow these steps, man, and you're going to come up. You're going to get a bigger bag than you would on individual status. Now, let's not get it twisted. The Africanos are hip-hop. Okay, hip-hop was started with Latinos as well. The B-boys, the graffiti artists, dancers, all that were very instrumental into hip-hop. So when I hear hip-hop, when people say hip-hop is a black thing, no, the Africanos have took it and made it worldwide. But guaranteed the Latinos were very influential in hip-hop as well, right? people like Gotos, who's the biggest Latin, distributor in the world. Let's just keep it real. Came from San Francisco, Northern California, to become worldwide, to have some type of influence, even across seas. It's a trip. So when he went to LA and finally decided to put his hand in the cookie jar in LA, there was people who bit. There were some people who bit his fingers and didn't like him down there. And then there were some people who actually signed to him, who actually started working with him, who actually decided that if for no other reason, it was time to let the bullshit shenanigans go. It was time to separate the gang and the politics from music. Okay? And a lot of good music is being made. But I'm starting to noticing the Southerners are the new black and brown. Whereas when you think black and brown movement, you always think the Norteños, the brothers from the Bay Area. But now there's a whole new movement, right? And it is based off of the gold print, what Gotos was doing, and what Gotos has always been saying about the black and brown, the raza, and the brothers coming together. And I'm noticing people, like I said, Baldacci just dropped something with Jay Diggs off GT Digital. I noticed that, right? I see Lefty Gunplay just dropped something with, I think, Jeremiah. I don't know. Birthday sex. It was kind of odd. I ain't gonna lie. It was a small record. It was kind of odd. But at the same time, Lefty got his on, right? A lot of the Southsiders that not necessarily would interact with blacks, we know the history there. The history of prison, the history of the gangs, the history of the green light, and a lot of things that have happened between the black communities and the brown communities in Southern California. They're now putting a lot of that to the side and they're working together. And this is the first answer. But riddle me this. I digress, right? I've been tripping on if they could do it. If the Southsiders, who are a strict group, very political, and a group that's always been the first ones and the last ones to do something. The first ones to do a pegada, go out there and smack someone on the yard, and the last ones to conform to anything that's going on within the California Department of Corrections, right? How is it that you now have Southerners working hand in hand with a lot of brothers in the music industry? And it's been going on. Toker from Brownside worked with Eazy-E. So it's not like this is the first time this shit has happened. But now it's becoming more so mainstream. It's becoming where we're noticing, right? With Lefty Gunplays. And you got all these different, rappers that actually are rapping with Africanos. How is it that two bitter rivals in the California Department of Corrections and the streets, because a lot of blacks and browns don't get along in Southern California. Even to this day, I know Compton is an area where it gets ugly fast. It was just in the news a while back. People were actually trying to stir up bullshit and cause racial division and confrontation, right? And all of it turned out to be bullshit. It was lies. It was just people trying to stir the fucking pot. But how is it that, and I've always tripped out on this, I've asked a couple Sureño homeboys that I have, like, what's up, bro? How is it that you guys could work with the Africanos from Northern California, the Lavish D's, the X-Rateds, the E40s, the Mac Dre's, the J Diggs? How is it that you could sit down, converse with them, get in the booth, work hand in hand, when in prison, you guys were at odds even more so than you were with the Northerners? Yet you will never ever work with the Norteño, who's your same skin tone, who's your same color, who's your same culture. How is it? Why? And then I've asked Norteños the same question, and none of them could give me a straight up answer. It was always like, because they're the other side, or because we can't, or because we're not supposed to, or because I ain't trying to do all that. We heard Lefty Gunplay when he first got out of prison. He said, I don't want nothing to do with Norteños. I ain't trying to work with Norteños. I ain't trying to go up there. I don't want them down here. This, and that. And bands pulled up anyways and all that, right? But he laid it out there that he didn't want to have no interaction, when meanwhile he was behind the scenes getting a hold of Gotos, trying to make something happen, using the Northern influence, right? And there's Northerners that do the same thing, because Northerners, like I seen Big Tone, he pulled up to No Jumper, he pulled up to Vlad TV, and when he was asked, why Northerners are starting to branch out into like LA to do business, he said, man, that's where the business is at. You got to make that next move your best move. You got your antennas got to pop up and you got to head that direction, because everyone knows LA is a juggernaut. LA is a hub. LA is where stardom is. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in Frisco, Oakland. Don't get it twisted. San Jose, the Bay Area is definitely hyphy and hype, but at the same time, there's a lot of business to be conducted for Norteños as well as Southsiders in Southern California. But the Southerners are actually, starting to do black and brown, which is a trip, right? And it's something, like I said, that was implemented and first put out there by Gold Toes. And people can cut it, dice it, twist it, however the fuck they want to. There's no denying the influence of that man, Gold Toes. Okay, he's been getting a lot of hate lately, I've noticed. From North and South, for whatever reason. When a man tries to extend the olive branch, when a man tries to go out there and make power moves wearing shower shoes, when a man's out there trying to put hoes in strippers wearing Gucci slippers and trying to fucking get people's minds right so they can shine right, he's doing it to help, not to hurt. But I understand that politics, gang politics, and the music industry, when you're a gangster rapper, it blurs lines. So you have to really watch what you say and who you interact with. But that shouldn't mean that, Norteños can work with brothers. Southsiders can work with brothers from Northern California, yet they can't work together. Who's going to be the one to break that mold? There's a rapper out there right now, North and South, that are sitting down watching this right now because motherfuckers watch me. Stop it, right? They're watching me and they're literally saying to themselves, damn, I could be him. The doors are open. Imagine this, gente. Okay? And I understand there's a lot of Southerners and a lot of Northerners that are bitter for whatever reason. A lot of the dudes that are now doing what they don't know why they're doing what they do. That's real. They're not educated enough to understand the historia and all the blood that was spilt behind the walls and even on the streets and the reasons behind it. Now, I understand the upstater movement's always going to have a bone to pick with the Northerners and vice versa. And I understand the Southerners from down south in Southern California really ain't concerned with Northerners, but sure won't do music with them. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Everyone's all over the place with it because no one truly understands the political views of what's really going on. They're letting prison and what's going on yards dictate their program. Meanwhile, what's going on yards in prison is better than what's going on the streets. When is that end of hostilities movement? When is that the idealisms, the coming togethers, the unity, the breaking bread, the busting spread, homie, all that gonna hit the streets? When is it gonna be dictated to the streets so that way North and South can make power moves, can work hand in hand, can work together to at least facilitate some type of business and get money? Open doors for the gente, for the youngsters that are coming up, right? Who's gonna do it? Imagine this. Imagine a concert or a tour, with maybe someone behind it like Gold Toes, or there's several others, right? Not very many. He's pretty much the catalyst of everything, right, when it comes to Latino rap. But imagine him behind the scenes, or other, vatos from down south, maybe a collab, them working together to have a tour with Norteño acts and Southern acts, not necessarily rapping together, but all coming together to get a bag, man, and travel the whole United States and really get money and spread the gospel Billy Graham style, right? Imagine that. It's possible, right? But it's going to take the initiative, and it's going to take the wherewithal, and it's going to take the balls, the fucking walla, of somebody to actually get up there and say, you know what? Fuck it, homes. These vatos are Mexican just like us. Let's get it. Eventually, when you do something and there's going to be people tripping at first. But like I said, a lot of the people that will trip are uneducated and don't really know the get down. The people like bozos that trip on everything a Norteño does when he's nowhere near Northern California. And vatos like Lazy Boy that trip on, what lefties got going on. This goes both ways. Let's not get it twisted. People like Lefty Gunplay, man, who disrespect Norteños continuously and constantly for whatever reason. People like Chito Ranas, who's actually a Norteño from Northern California that lives down south all of a sudden, right? Let's keep it real. It's not what you claim, it's what you are, homie. This is what I tell the upstaters. Shout out and respect to the upstaters, man. I have no disrespect to aim their way. But I've always said this. No matter any way you cut it up, no matter what value you claim, no matter how many LA Dodger hats you wear and cowboy jerseys you put on, bro, that you are from San Jose, right? When you get San Jose blasted on you, that's a city in Northern California where the Norteños are established. That makes you a guy from Northern California, which actually, if you break it down, it makes you a Northern. Let's just be real. That's like, someone a Norteño moving to Southern California. Of course, we know there's no barrios in Southern California. That's a fact. But if you have Norteños moving down there, and being from that city and getting LA tattooed on you, you're not a Norteño, bro. You're a Los Angeles. Straight up. You're from Southern California at this point. That's a fact. There's so much division between North and South. When's it going to end? I think music is the key. Gold Toes put out the gold print. Southsiders are starting to react and follow it. This interaction with blacks, this Jay Diggs, Baldacci collaboration, this Lefty Gunplay and Jeremiah collaboration, and so many more is only going to help the Southsiders succeed and open up more doors. It just is what it is. And the cool part about it is this movement, this black and brown, was started by a guy from Northern California. Will I say he's a Norteño? Not necessarily, but I will say he has that northern fire in his eyes, right? He's always been a part of that. Now, I seen the other day, maybe a couple months ago, man, there was a Norteño podcast, or Northerners, allegedly, on a podcast. They were feeling some type of way about Gold Toes and this unity and this peace and this gospel that he's spreading, and they didn't like it. And I don't think they liked it because they're not willing to understand it. See, if you're close to something and you're not willing to understand, then you'll never know or never truly have the education enough to make you can make an assumption, but you'll never have a concrete answer for the questions that are asked because you don't know, because you haven't opened yourself to receive that type of education. There's a lot of vatos in prison right now, very educated in the politics, very gang related, been doing this for more years than myself and anyone else, right? That are finally tired of the bullshit, that are tired of being locked up, tired of seeing young gente, raza locked up behind some bullshit that really doesn't make no sense. That's a fact. Okay? They're kicking it on the inside, Norteños and Southsiders, doing their motherfucking thug thizzle. Meanwhile, you got vatos out here doing things. But let's really look at it. When is the last time you could truly say, unless you're from these cities like San Jose and Oakland and Richmond, and where there's a big heavy southern presence and northern presence, and you might hear about little shootouts here and there, but when's the last time you really see Norteños and Sureños killing each other? In prison, let's talk about it. I constantly see people killing their own. I don't never see North and South riots. I don't never see it's like very, very, very rare. Very rare, right? So why not get to the bag on the streets? The gold print is already laid out. Gold Toes try to tell everyone, man, unity is where it's at. Maybe not necessarily unity at this point, but a conversation could go a long way. Kings dine with kings, right? Weirdos, they don't dine at all if it's up to us. I have conversations behind the scenes with a lot of people. And I know someone who knows someone who knows someone that knows Toes. We'll just say it like that, right? And I watch and I monitor what he's got going on his Instagram, and I try to stay up and abreast it because I'm a fan. I'm a supporter of his movement. And I see he's kind of took his foot off the gas a little bit when it comes to the North and South, just because of the hatred. I'm sure, all the people that were feeling some type of way, when Gold Toes was down south wiggling, he went to American Cholo. He went to several Southern podcasts and started having interactions with Baldacci and Spanky Loco and several other rappers, right? People I can't even speak on. There was people like Haters World, who was quick to be like, he's just trying to take over. He's trying to steal artists. He's a Norteño. He's this, he's that, he's that. Shut your fat ass up, homie. And yeah, I'm not active. But shut up, bro. That's a brown man trying to help a brown man. If your fat ass was in prison and there was a Norteño next to you and you didn't have no jabón and you were stinking like you look, believe me, if he shot you that soap, you would take it because your homeboys would tell you to take it. Stop being a man that takes... Say it again. Stop being a man that other people have to dictate your program, and stop smutting people up that you don't even know. All this shit started because a fat pig sat there and ran his neck when you're really not in the streets like that, bro. I'm not in the streets like that. I'm not claiming to be, but you're not. And you're talking about what he's trying to take over. This man was trying to help people, bro. He laid out the gold print. Now, what's crazy is now we're seeing a lot of Southern California rappers doing collaboration with Northern California black rappers. And now it's all good, huh? Run them views up. Who laid the gold print out? Give that man his motherfucking respect and just stop it. Anyways, it's South. I'm glad to see the Southsiders making power moves, wearing shower shoes, man, and doing their thing. And it's time for the Norteños to actually get back to that rather than tripping on each other and cleaning up the yardas and all that. Focus on coming together, the people. Like I said, who's going to have the balls to make it happen? There's a rapper out there right now. There's a couple good rappers out there right now, North and South, that I know would be willing to sit down and converse. Again, I'm not speaking poison. I'm not spitting poison. I understand the division of North and South. I played it for a long time. I was involved heavily with it, right? I understand where the Norteño mentality has come from. The oppression of the people, man, and trying to get social status of equality and equal justice. I understand where the Southerners come from, with the arrogance, man, and the hypocrisy that they're not fucking willing to fucking go out. You know, they're willing to do their thing as a people and stand strong and united. That's why they're the Southern United Raza. I understand all this because I was educated by real OGs and people that put an indoctrinated game into my mindset, right? And I took little nuggets from it. And even though I'm no longer in that mix, I still watch from a distance, from the outside looking in. And I can say this most definitely, man. All the he said, she said, all the woofing back and forth, that's starting to minimize now. Now it's time to get to the money and get to the bag and secure your financial future for your children. We are that era that could do it. I want to see motherfuckers make it happen. Real talk. The gold print is there. Toast put it out there. Let's see what you're about, man. One other topic I wanted to touch on, and then I got so many videos I got to do, man. I'm kind of late on it today. I had to take the kids to school. But Trip, was when I seen Lefty Gunplay said, I'll never do videos with Norteños. I'll never interact with them. I'll never this. I'll never that. But I'll go up there and I'll fuck with Lavish D. Like, Lavish D fucks with Norteños. So I didn't never get it. And the same vice versa with the Northern. I don't understand how you can kick it with people that kick it with these people, but you can't kick it with them. Makes no sense. Politically, that brother that you're working with in that booth is going to be the one to put the knife in you in prison, not the Northerner. It's a trip. You'll play handball and bust a spread with the Northerner, or Northerner busting a spread with the Southerner, yet talk that shit on the internet. It's weird. Shout out to everyone that I mentioned in here, even Blue Devil, man. I don't dislike you. I actually watch your videos and I think they're lightweight cool, right? But one thing I will say is it was that man, that one man, that when Gotos was down in Southern California trying to set up the gold print and trying to help people to do what they're obviously doing anyways, man. The jewel that he dropped was picked up, right? This guy was trying to cause so much division, you know, between North and South, bro. You're from way down there, brother. You don't even see Norteños. I don't even know what you're tripping on. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all the raza, all people. The gun.